I'd never be able to guess what you want for your own future, but I can guess 3 things that will help you get there: becoming wealthy, achieving financial freedom, and living life on your own terms. The reality is that many people will never realize these dreams, but it's not because they can't. The truth is, achieving financial freedom and building wealth are fairly simple. All you have to do is live below your means, prepare for financial emergencies, and invest consistently for the long term. The problem is that most of us don't follow these steps. But why is that? These steps sound simple enough, but it's not easy for many. Let's try and answer this question. Here are 6 reasons why most people fail at money. They have bad money habits. Probably the number one reason a lot of people fail at money and never achieve the financial success they've always dreamed about is that they have bad money habits. These are mainly the result of negative mindsets and practices. They fail to understand that having the proper mindset regarding their life and finances is essential for their success. They keep telling themselves, "I'm broke and there's little to nothing I can do about it," or "I can never be good with money." But this perspective prevents them from ever trying to succeed. The way they think about money translates into how they act around it, which often leads to more financial nightmares. Because their mindset around money is negative, they tend to make poor money choices as well. First, they don't plan their spending. Like successful people, broke people also dream of paying off debt, saving money, investing, and living life. But they fail to realize that to successfully do any of that, they need to have a plan around their money. That means they have to learn how to budget. A budget won't only help them keep their expenses below their income, but it will also help them to plan out what they can spend, save, and invest. But because they fail to realize this, money easily slips through their fingers, so they end up with not very much left after every paycheck. In the worst case, they end up overextended and taking on debt simply because their budgeting is poor and they spend more than they earn. They struggle with self-discipline. A lot of people set up their financial goals with good intentions, but as time progresses, they find themselves lacking the motivation to stay on course. For most people, impulse purchasing is the number one thing that throws them off. Many people get stuck buying things they don't need, sometimes just to play the status game, which only further destroys their finances. Not having a clear determination between wants and needs and between delayed gratification and instant gratification, most people become vulnerable to making rash money choices, especially in an emotional state. For instance, when they feel down or have a bad day, or when they feel excessively happy and are having a great day, they spend extravagantly. This type of shopping can boost their excitement or lighten their bad days, but it also lightens their wallet. But how do you build self-discipline? Honestly, part of the process is to take the decision away from yourself entirely. By automating your finances, you don't need to rely solely on self-discipline. And as time progresses, you'll notice that you're less likely to want to spend that money as you see your emergency fund or investment fund growing. Also, accountability is important when growing self-discipline. So if you struggle with spending too much, consider finding someone to keep you accountable for the choices you make around your financial goals. They delay saving and investing. Do you remember how old you were when you first started saving and investing proactively? For some, they don't start until well into their 30s, 40s, or even 50s. And it could be for any number of reasons, one of which could simply be that they don't know how to. Money can be scary, and if you don't know what to invest in or where to invest, it can cause delaying the decision. But if you want to build wealth, there's no way around saving and investing. Another reason is because they believe that they simply need to earn more money to save. The problem with this way of thinking, though, is if they think they can't save when they have a little, they'll most likely not save when they have a lot. Another reason a lot of people procrastinate saving and investing is that they place too much trust in a great job or income. But life happens. Job security, for the most part, is a myth these days. Layoffs, company acquisitions, or a change in the economy can shatter this trust in an instant. Delaying can also happen because they believe they have time to save and can always do it later, or they feel retirement is too far away. They don't realize their dream of living a fabulous life in retirement is going to cost them a lot of money, the type of money that takes time to save and grow. By saving and investing early, they can take advantage of compounding earnings. Remember, it's about building habits and consistency over the long run. Your money can make more money through the power of compound interest, so the earlier you start, the longer your money has the chance to make more money. They're scared. The 4th reason too many people stay stuck in terrible financial situations is that they're afraid. They're afraid of the sacrifice, the effort, the commitment, the inevitable mistakes along the way, and the possibility of losing money. They fail because they don't try. They gave up too soon, or maybe they took too many steps at once without proper knowledge or guidance. Being broke can be because they fear stepping outside their comfort zone. Many people would rather continue doing the same things that keep them broke than change. This could explain why as many as 85% of employees would rather maintain the status quo even though they hate their jobs. They might be comfortable, but it hinders their success. This is not only specific to employees, but it is also evident when one has to part with stuff or change practices that have been done for a long time. A lot of people need to understand that maintaining the same habits toward their finances will only produce the same results. This means if they don't change the poor mindsets, habits, and practices we talked about earlier in the video, they're most likely to remain broke. Plus, achieving financial goals will require changes. Sometimes this could mean cutting vacation costs, reevaluating the size of the house they live in, the cost of the car they drive, their choice of clothing, and even as little as how they spend money for entertainment. These changes might be difficult at first, but when they imagine the bigger picture and see how and where these changes could position them 10 or 20 years from now, they'll probably stop being an obstacle to their own success. They set unrealistic money goals. The quickest way to get demotivated and disappointed is to have unsuitable money goals. Some people remain broke because their goals are either too vague, too broad, or just unrealistic provided the timeline. Earlier, we mentioned that some people delay saving and investing, and that's why they remain broke. Well, there are other people who do save and invest, but with the wrong set of expectations. Some of these people invest with the mindset that their investments will double in value practically overnight. What some consider investing is in reality a get-rich-quick scheme or outright gambling. Others fail because they're looking for or hoping to stumble across an incredible stock to make them rich overnight. They risk their money without thinking. They opt in and out of too many individual stocks, cryptocurrencies, real estate deals, looking for the perfect one that would meet their ridiculous goals, and therefore lose a lot of money on commissions, fees, and even the market itself. Their money goals are not smart. Sustainable, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. If you're not familiar with this concept, be sure to watch our other video, Setting Smart Goals for Your Money. The problem with either of these unrealistic financial goals is that they demoralize you. Pursuing success one day doesn't guarantee the next, so most people begin chasing their financial goals with high confidence and motivation and some level of doggedness to achieve them, but that energy fades away really quickly when reality meets them head-on. They make excuses. Finally, excuses are the fabricated realities people use to keep themselves broke. Saving and investing are only for rich people, or investing is too complicated, are just a few of the many excuses people use to avoid dealing with money. Jim Rohn once said, if you want to do something, you will find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. And it's true, because we all fail in life, and maybe a few times in business, but things only turn worse if we make excuses rather than correcting our actions. When people turn their heads toward making excuses to avoid uncomfortable financial situations, they only get buried in more financial problems than they would like to admit. The big question is, are you going to continue making excuses and fail even more? Or do you want to take hurdles as opportunities to learn and come up with new solutions that could change your financial condition? The choice is yours. Financially successful people choose the latter, and that's why they keep succeeding regardless of their current earnings. We hope you learned something new today. Please consider liking and subscribing, and if you like this content, share it with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.